G'day, welcome back to another episode of TOGL. Well, this was not how I envisaged starting this video this week, but yesterday was an extraordinary day and I feel I need to tell you a bit about it, what I can, given the circumstances. So yesterday, at about probably 9 o'clock in the morning, we had someone come up past our house, which happens a lot lately. And they're always looking for another address, not ours, and I'm always having to turn them around. Now, I think one of the reasons is because we had the gates removed when we had the logging done down the front. So I thought, well, let's get those gates back up and stop all this nonsense. So I contacted my neighbour down the road. He said, yeah, I'll come up at 11 and we'll put those posts in. Wouldn't you know it, at about just after 10, maybe 10:30, I was just loading some stuff in the back of the car up at the house, and this car came flying past, super fast. I put my hands up, tried to stop him, slow them down and that. They just shot straight past and nearly took me out. So I better get in the car and go down and see what's going on. This is ridiculous. So I drove down and I couldn't find them. Now our block sits at the end of the road and it's a dead end itself. So let me explain. We'll take a little walk through what happened. So as they would have come down our block, just up the top there near that dozer, the road branches into two, and the road that goes across the top is dirt, and the one that comes down here across our dam is gravel. So their obvious option was, we'll take the gravel. And when they got to here, seeing that we had that there, I don't know why, but they didn't turn right. They're probably going too fast to make the tight turn. So they opted to keep coming straight ahead. Let's go for a little walk. So they've come across here. I thought, okay, they're trying to get up to the back of the block. God knows why. I mean, they're probably still trying to look for this other address. Who knows? So they would have come across here. And generally, what we do is we go up there to the right, because that's the way the road goes. This area over here, this is just a staging area where we had some logging done, because we want to turn this area into a nice little pasture, a little paddock that we can keep some animals in. So it's just a small area here. Now they wouldn't have known. They obviously, at speed, shot up through here. Ignore all of these tracks, I'll explain them in a minute. All these tyre marks, they were not there when I came through, which is why I did not think the car had come this way. So I've gone up through there, and I'm way over the back of the block looking, trying to find them. Couldn't find them, so I came back. Now as I come back, I ran into some police on the block. They're looking for this car. So I said to them, look, they might have come over this way, but I think they've gone up the back of the block. I couldn't find them, so one car followed me up there. The others came in down here. And then we got the call, we found the car. This car, which is just a normal sort of station wagon, had come flying through here, not realised there is no road, and they ended up down there. Now they didn't hit that big stump, probably lucky for them. They've obviously just slid to a stop in all that loose dirt and jumped out and bolted, probably down through there somewhere. So yeah, they've ended up down in there. At that point, there was probably another half a dozen police cars down here by then, and they started looking through the bush for them. There was cars everywhere. Helicopters came in. There's helicopters looking for them. Like, this was a major search. We ended up with far more cars than I could count on both hands up on this block, and was swarming. Now they didn't find them, so later in the afternoon they said, well, I'm not sure where they are, and all the police presence left. Now later on that afternoon they did make an appearance down at our friends and neighbours, and basically they were dripping wet, because yesterday was a really wet, cold, rainy day, horrible weather yesterday. And so yeah, they said that they were wringing wet. They'd got their car bogged. Could they come in and warm up? So our friends, being very hospitable, did that, but knew because it was everywhere. And these people thought they'd walked a lot further than what they did. They were only a couple hundred metres down the road, but they'd spent 5 hours traipsing through our bush and thought they'd covered a lot more. So they played it cool. We clicked. We got some messages from them. We clicked. So we called the police. A few other people had also clicked and called. And then pretty much just before dark, the place was surrounded. SWAT team came in and captured them. And our friends were unharmed. Very stressful, emotional day for everyone. But everyone was good. Everyone was safe. So that was the main thing. Anyway, now I want to get those gates up. I know the chances of that ever happening again are 0 or 0.0005 or something like that. They're minimal, the chances of that ever happening again. But it's ironic that I was going to have those gates put up at 11 and at 10:30 all hell broke loose on that particular, and I'd been thinking about it for weeks. So yeah, it's not something anyone would ever want to go through, but everyone's okay. That's right. And the police, man, they did an amazing job. They did so well in horrible conditions. Yeah, so huge kudos to the police up here in the northwest of Tassie. Anyway, I need to go, and we're going to get this gate put up. So let's go start that. Okay, so down here now, my neighbour will be along shortly with his tractor and the big post reamer, and we're going to get these gates put in. So I've got one very large gate and one of the gates that was the original gate, because I wanted to, I know they're offset, like they're not equal, but I wanted a bit extra distance, and this was a good way to do it. I can leave one gate open to drive in and out, and if we have some bigger deliveries done, trucks and that, I can open both gates up. And what we're doing is we're going to ram 2 pieces of railway iron into the ground, and then later on in a few more days or whenever, I will actually grind some of the rust off them, clean it up, weld on the brackets for the gates to hang off, and so they should be really strong hanging off of that. So it's just going to go across here, and I'm going to show you exactly why people just keep and end up on our block, because they think it's just Greta Road that runs all the way, and it's very easy to see how it would be very confusing that that's not someone's driveway. That's why we've got to get these gates put back up. So this is looking back down the road, and you can see that if people come up this road, it does just look like that road just keeps on going up. Yeah, there's a driveway off that way, but you would think that was just a continuation of the road. So everyone just kind of follows up there. Okay, so let's get these gates put up, and I guarantee you this is going to look and fit way better than the first set did. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back and watch probably video 4 or 5, I think, of 2021, which was like our right when we first got here. For those of you who have been watching all along, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, all marked, all in place. Ian will be here shortly, and we'll just ram those 2 posts in. Well, those posts are in. Now that post over there, what happened, I don't know whether it was, you can notice it on the video, but it was going straight down. Now there must have been a rock right where we wanted the post to go, and it's hit the rock, and so as it started to go out, it meant the top of the post has started to lean out. Now thankfully it's leaning away from where the gate's going to go, because the gate with all that leverage is going to want to pull that post. So that'll actually work out all right, so long as the gate's not up too high. And if it is, what I can do is actually put some spacers in on the top bracket to let it lower back out, if you know what I mean. The other one did pretty much the same thing, and it hit a tree root. Now it took us several goes to get through the tree root. Now I know it was a tree root and not a rock because of the spring that the post had when it shot back up again. But after a few hits, we managed to push it through the tree root, and it went down, and it only just went back slightly. Ian got around there with the tractor, pushed it forwards a bit, so it did go forward, which was good. It did spring back a little bit, but again, there's now a little bit of play in that. But when we hang the gate, the weight of the gate's going to hold it up, and it should be really good. So that'll be really good for those two. Now my plan is that from that post over there across to the fence, eventually I'd love to build a nice stone wall. Put some flowers in front of it, like what my neighbour's actually done already. He had the same idea as me, obviously. They got some flowers there, and I think that'll look really nice as all those bulbs come up each year. Things like the daffodils and jonquils and that come up in front of this nice stone wall. Around this other side, I'll probably do the same thing, but that's a much bigger wall, and that'll take a lot longer to do. So that's not a priority. That's really not that much of a priority either. For now, I've just strung some barbed wire across through there, 3-strand barbed wire. It's all that was there originally. I'll do the same over there, just 3 strands of barbed wire, put that in. But right now what I need to do is have a look where I want to put those brackets. I need to get the grinder with the flapper disc, clean it up, and then I'll go and grab the welder and the Jenny, and we'll get the brackets welded on so that we can hang these gates finally. Okay, so this is what we mean by a flapper disc. It's like a sandpaper disc. Now I'm using a 40 grit, which is nice and coarse because we want to take a lot of material off fast. Got to get all that rust off it where we're going to weld. And what we're welding is, that's the bottom plate, and the gate will sit over that. And then the top plate goes on, and the gate passes up through there. All right. But what I'm thinking of doing is, normally you would screw these into a timber post. Now what I might do so that I can give this some adjustment is, I'm thinking if I get a large bolt with a nut, screw, and then I'll weld the head of the bolt against the post, I can slide that on, and by adjusting the nuts I can move that in and out, and I think that's going to be a far better option for me to get the gate nice and level. So I don't think I've got any nuts and bolts. I'll have to go and check in the shed. If I don't, I'll have to go down and buy some, but otherwise I will get this all cleaned up where they need to go first. We'll take it from there. right on cue. As I go to start speaking, the kookaburras start. I'm all set up, ready to go. I've got the generator, got the welder over behind me, all the gear that I need. Up the top here, where I cleaned off for the top bracket, I also cleaned in behind it so that I've got a good connection with the earth. So that's on there. Let's get this bracket welded on. Well, I'm not sure if I blew a fuse in the welder or if the output on that Jenny stopped. Obviously it was just a bit much to run the welder off that Jenny. I thought she'd be alright, but probably not. Thinking about it, I do have a 5 kVA generator, which I probably should have used because that's only a 3.5 kVA generator. So hopefully it's nothing irreparable on either device. And I think maybe I should go and get the 5 kVA generator if it's not the welder. But I've got a fair bit welded on, so probably enough for me to at least hang this first gate and do a quick test. But yeah, hopefully I haven't done any too much damage there. Okay, that's not quite, still not quite upright, but pretty close. So it gives me an idea of how long those screws will need to be, which is good. But for now, I'm just going to use a bit of wire. Kay's gone down to the hardware store. She's going to get me the bolts I need. So yeah, just probably only needs to come up just a fraction more, probably to about, whoops, yeah, that's it right about there. So not off by much. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. So yeah, I'm going to need bolts that are about probably 8 to 9 inches long to weld onto there, and there will be a difference in gap there, but at least this will be perfectly straight good news too. I thought, let's just check the other power point that comes out of that generator. So I turned on the generator again, plugged the welder in over onto the other side, and the welder worked. So that's good. Jenny works, welder works. I then thought, well, I'll put the welder back over into the original power point, and the welder works, and that point obviously works, which means that nothing is broken, doesn't even need a repair. It was obviously just like a safety switch or something, a safety cutout that's reset after 30 seconds or something. So nothing's broken, so that's great. But I am going to go down now and get that 5 kVA Jenny, and then we'll continue to weld up over here. Okay, so what I've done is just run a ratchet strap across to the back of the car over here, because that post not only was leaning back a little bit, it was leaning out towards the road a little. I wanted to get that nice and straight, keep the gate straight. So I've pulled that back, and then over here I've run a string line from the other gate. I've run a string line across, so I know exactly where I want the other bracket to go in order to make sure the gates line up level, which is substantially higher on that side. But I'll end up getting more gravel down here. We'll level it out so that the road's nice and level underneath the gates, so that'll be cool too. So that's ready to go to be welded up now, and then what I'll do before I release that ratchet strap is I'll get around with the tractor and really push with a lot of pressure, push some dirt down in against that post and make sure that it doesn't spring back too far, and over time we'll get all that squared off. But yeah, so I've got the big 5 kVA Jenny now. We'll get started, we'll get this other side welded up. This one's on, but when I said to Kay that I needed like 100mm bolts, I said minimum 70, but 100mm would be good. I never thought to say that it needs to be threaded all the way along. So that's my fault. And then I'd already welded one on, and I thought, oh, I wonder if it's not going to close up enough, and it actually hasn't closed up enough. So, but that's okay. Washers, I'll be able to use some washers. So that's what I've done, just put the 2 bolts on. Now, all I need to do is just put some washers there. So I'll take the bolt off, take the nut off, pack it with washers before I put the nut back on, and that'll push this further back, which means this gate will come further back. and then it'll be right. It's not by much. Have a look. It's only just out. So, yeah. Easy fix. And it's something that realistically, like I don't even really need to do it, but I will. But not right now. So I'll get this gate swung open. I'll get the other 2 bolts welded over on the, actually I won't weld on the other side for that exact reason. Now over there, the gap is less. So yeah, I won't worry about that for now. Wow, that's much better than the first time. Look at that for a gap. So, gates are in now, which is fantastic. The plan is I'll probably put some signage on this gate, and I'll probably just leave that one open for most of the, leave this one closed most of the time, leave this one open so that we can just drive in and out. I hate having to stop. Open gates, closed gates. We'll see if that stems the issue. If it doesn't, well, we'll just go to keeping these closed up. So yeah, but and then if, as I said, if we have a big load come through, huge truck or something, we can open up this huge one and the smaller one as well. But for now, I think this one can just stay open, and we should be good. We got some visitors down here. So Cody and Grace and Hewan have come and they brought the dogs. So there's Thor. A few people have asked about Thor. He's still doing all right, but his arthritis is playing up a lot, so he stays over there. Cody and Grace take really good care of him. Diesel.
What are you doing, Diesel? What are you doing?
Hey Thor. Hello Thor. Hey. Checking it out. Yeah, she's cold. Another frosty morning, but it's going to be another beautiful day. Really enjoying these sunny days. Yesterday when Cody and Grace were down here with the dogs and that, Cody helped me move all of these beams for the shed. We've got them all lined up onto some timber there to get them off the ground. There's a couple more over there that I'll have to get to. We needed them up there because I need to do a little bit of repair work on them. They've been sitting under tarps for a couple of years, but even so, the moisture does get to it. So right now I'm going to give them a wash down and then they can dry out. This afternoon I'll be able to get to sanding them. Kay's going to come and help me and we're going to get some gal paint put on. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So you can see here on the ends, there's sort of just a little bit of very light surface rust appearing. So what I need to do is just use a flapper disc and clean this off. Any of these little rusty marks, just clean them off, and then we'll touch it up with some spray gal. I just want to do that before we erect the shed, just to make sure it's 100% and we don't have any issues in the future. So that's what I've got on for today. Hose these things down and going to help out a mate with some stuff as well. So we'll get this sorted out. But anyway, you're going to have to wait until next week to see us doing the cleanup on this and possibly putting the frame, starting to put some of the frame. I don't know whether that'll happen in the next week. Like I said, I've got to get these cleaned up first anyway. But I hope you enjoyed this one. It's really good to have those gates on. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please consider. It definitely helps. Alrighty, until next Friday, stay safe, take care, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys then. Cheers.